जी जनाब, सत श्री अकाल। एक बारी फिर आरफा मुजफ्फर प्रोग्राम मुलाकात के नाल तुहाडे कोल तुहाडे सामने तुहाडीआं नज़रां दे सामने। सब तो पहले तो मैं तुहाडा बहुत शुक्रिया और जनाब राणा सिद्धू साहब का बहुत शुक्रिया एंड द बेस्ट ऑफ ऑल इज़ मनदीप जी जेड़े सानू टैक्नीकली हैल्प करते तुरे जा रहे हैं। मुलाकात ये प्रोग्राम जिस तरह असीं तुहानू रिक्वेस्ट की सी कि अज का ये जिहड़ा प्रोग्राम होया करेगा इहदे च तुहाडी एक मुलाकात करवाया करांगे। अज की मुलाकात बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है तो बल्कि मेरी रिक्वेस्ट होएगी अगर तुहाडा कोई सवाल होए, टीवी तुहाडा अपना है, प्रोग्राम तुहाडा अपना है, सवाल जरूर करे जे कोई। मेरे नाल अज के प्रोग्राम दे विच मेरे जनाब माजिद जमाल साहब इत्थे मौजूद ने।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, वेलकम टू रेडियो, वेलकम टू मुलाकात जी।
ओल्ड एज है, तुसीं फिक्र ना करो। कहंदे ने बंदे दी जो उम्र ज़्यादा हो जाए ना तो इस तरह ही हुंदा, घबराया जे ना। अज दे प्रोग्राम मुलाकात दे विच जिहड़ी ये मुलाकात है ये तुहाडे वास्ते भी बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट हो सकती है। मैं तुसीं असीं सारे जदों इत्थे रहिंदे आं कैनेडा दे विच तो चिल्ड्रन एड सोसाइटी का नाम अक्सर सुनिया और बाज़ौक़ात डर भी लगता है कि चिल्ड्रन एड सोसाइटी यह भी गलत करेगी वह भी गलत करेगी। अज जिहड़े साडे मेहमान हैगे ने फॉस्टर पेरेंट रिक्रूटर सर्विसेज तो जनाब फैसल मोदी साहब साडे नाल ने। जनाब फैसल मोदी,
थैंक यू सो मच।
यू वेलकम। मैं बल्कि मनदीप दे नाल यही गल कर रही सी, मैं कह रही सी प्रोग्राम का नाम तो मुलाकात है, ना होना चाहिए सी खिचड़ी, क्योंकि मैं बोलनी है पंजाबी, मैं पंजाब तो लैंदे पंजाब तो, माजिद जमाल साहब कराची तो उन्होंने बोलनी है उर्दू, और फैसल बिकॉज ही कैन नॉट स्पीक उर्दू, ही कैन नॉट स्पीक पंजाबी, तो इन्होंने गल करनी है अंग्रेजी। मगर लिविंग इन कैनेडा मैं तुहानू इन्ना यकीन दिलानी है कि अज के प्रोग्राम यू विल डेफिनेटली लर्न इस मुलाकात के विचों। जिस तरह मैं तुहानू पहले कहा कि फैसल मोदी साहब चिल्ड्रन एड सोसाइटी के नाल इन्हां दा ताल्लुक है और फॉस्टर पेरेंट रिक्रूटिंग सर्विसेज तो। जी माजिद भाई, आप फैसल से जो
फैसल, वेलकम टू मुलाकात। एंड मुलाकात, यू नो व्हाट मीनिंग ऑफ मुलाकात?
I definitely do.
Yes, it's a meeting, and it's a meeting between all of us. My question, because I've heard that you are from foster parent recruitment, okay, but that is linked with Children's Aid Society.
Correct.
For the benefit of our viewers, I think we should start talking about Children's Aid Society. We have some our thinking of what Children's Aid Society does, and you are linked with them. So just explain a bit about Children's Aid Society. What is a Children's Aid Society, and what's the object they're looking at?
So Peel Children's Aid focuses on helping families and protecting children from abuse, neglect, from mental health, and from different issues that might come up in the family. Our focus is to keep children in the homes and make sure that they're protected from abuse and neglect as best possible.
So that is basically Children's Aid Society.
Correct.
Now, a layman like me, I've heard horrible stories about when people come and Children's Aid Society, you use your child, and Children's Aid Society would come and they'll take away your child. How true it is?
So Peel Children's Aid, our focus is to make sure that children stay with family. So what we do in every situation that we go out, we hear the child, and we listen to the family, hear what's going on, see how we can help. In worst case scenarios, in last situations, sometimes children have to be removed. That is very, very small of a percentage. And so what happens is in those situations, we look at family. And so if family is available, then we look at how can they support the situation. And if family is available, they help. If not, then we look at foster parents as our last option. So once in a while, Children's Aid does remove children, but again, it's very rare, and it doesn't happen all the time, and it's worst case scenario.
जिस तरह के कहा है फैसल ने कि चिल्ड्रन एड सोसाइटी के बारे साड़ी गलत सोच है कि चिल्ड्रन एड सोसाइटी सिर्फ बच्चों को लै करके जाती है। चिल्ड्रन एड सोसाइटी का मकसद यह है कि फैमिलीज़ को प्रोटैक्ट करना, बच्चों को प्रोटैक्ट करना असल चिल्ड्रन एड सोसाइटी का मकसद है। जिस तरह असी प्रोग्राम के शुरू दसिया कि फैसल जोड़े ने फॉस्टर पेरेंट रिक्रूटर ने, और चिल्ड्रन एड सोसाइटी मेक श्योर कर दी है कि चिल्ड्रन मस्ट बी सेफ एंड दे मस्ट उन्होंने जो ब्रॉटअप है बड़ा बेहतरीन तरीके नाल होना चाहिए।
But you just talked about abusing the children. Describe the word abuse, because we and our most of our listeners coming from India or Pakistan, spanking is very, very much allowed. It's part of the game. Growing up, my father spanked me, and my father's father spanked him. So it is no big deal. But here, we'll talk about spanking in just 1 second. But let's describe the word abuse. How do you describe the word abuse? What is abuse?
Okay. So abuse has many different forms. One is the obvious physical abuse. So physical abuse means either bruising, marks on a child, broken bones, broken fractures as well can happen. So that's physical abuse at its worst case scenario. Physical abuse can also, physical abuse is one situation. Now, abuse can also be emotional. So severe verbal abuse, severe emotional abuse. If you tell a child that he's not smart or that he's stupid, eventually if you keep telling that child every day, eventually what happens is that child might once believe that to be true. And so what we try to do is we try to help that family work with that child in the best possible way they can, and live and love and show them how to do that in the best way that they can, and how can we also help them provide that support possible. And so abuse has really different terms. Now, you talked about spanking. In Canada, spanking under the criminal code, again, is open hand. It is one time on the bum, no marks, and it has to be clothed. Now, what that means is when you're angry and you're upset with a child, you don't always think about that. You don't always think about what's going to happen to this child. So what ends up happening is that you tend to slap the child in the face, in the arm, in the bum, and sometimes, worst case scenarios, it's really hard that it causes a mark, or situations happen that accidents happen. And so what we want to do is we want to try and prevent that from happening. And so what we talk about is positive parenting. And so talking to the child, building communication, because I always tell families and parents that I work with is that you can't earn respect by hitting a child. Fear and respect are two different things. And so to earn respect is to communicate with your child. And that's what we hope to be able to instill with our families and be able to work with them to be able to understand that as well.
जिस तरह फैसल ने कहा कि यकीनन तुसी तमाम ने अंडरस्टैंड ते कीता ही होएगा कि डिसिप्लिन करन वास्ते बेहतर है कि बच्चे दे नाल गल कीती जाए, बैठ के गल कीती जाए। मारन दे नाल डर ज़रूर होएगा मगर बच्चा थोड़े नाल अपनी गल शेयर नहीं करेगा। But Faisal, my question over here is sometimes there are discipline issues. There is a certain age, and I was looking at the internet, and I think tremendous number of families have that kind of problem, that children at a certain age, from 13 till 17, they don't want to listen to their parents. They want to do the way they want to do. And some discipline issues are there, so parents have to look after that, and sometimes they got to be strict.
In a way, the mentality of those children between 13 and 17 is that, Mom and Dad, you don't know anything, we know. How do you describe?
How would you, how parents should, because we are educating, please guide us, how can we deal that situation?
Okay. Again, as you said, teenagers know it all, right? Teenagers think they know everything. They think they have the answers to everything. But what you have to understand is if you go to hit a child, or if you go to spank a child at that age, 13, 14, do you think that in their mind they realize why? What happens when you hit a child? They become angry. They become upset. And so what then happens is they don't realize why you did it. And what you're also teaching that child that is okay to hit. And so when that child hits his brother or sister, you're going to yell at them for what? You can't yell at your child because you've already done that, right? When that child doesn't listen to you, and now when that child, you don't listen to when they're trying to get their sister or brother to listen, and their younger siblings think they know it all, that child then reverts to hitting that child. And so then the parents go to say, well, why are you hitting the son and child? Because what happens is parents don't realize it's monkey see, monkey do. And so every time that you act on your child, that child thinks it's okay.
You're
And so
right.
when that child's getting in trouble at school for hitting children, you can't be the one yelling at that child, because you also have to look at, well, why is that child happening that way? And so what we want to do is talk to them, build that communication, build that respect, because at the end of the day, as I said, think about when you were growing up. If you got in trouble for something and you knew you were going to get hit, unfortunately what would happen is you wouldn't talk to your parents. You would just learn to hide it better. And so what we want to do is for that child to feel as comfortable as possible to be able to talk to the parent and be able to tell them and talk to them as a friend so that those issues don't come up.
ਇਹ ਤੇ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਬੁਨਿਆਦ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬਾਜ਼ ਔਕਾਤ ਵੀ ਗੈਟ ਇਨਟੂ ਟਰਬਲ ਆਖਰੀ ਪਾਸੇ ਤੁਰ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਆ ਮਗਰ ਲਿਵਿੰਗ ਇਨ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਚਿਲਡਰਨ ਏਡ ਸੁਸਾਇਟੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੈਲਿਊਜ਼ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਕਲਚਰ ਔਰ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਤਮਾਮ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਕਟ ਵੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਫੈਸਲ ਦਾ ਤਾਲੁਕ ਹੈਗਾ ਫੋਸਟਰ ਪੇਰੈਂਟ ਰਿਕਰੂਟਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਾਜ਼ ਔਕਾਤ ਅਗਰ ਇੰਤਹਾਈ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਬੱਚੇ ਮਾਂ ਬਾਪ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਲੈ ਲਏ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਸੋ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ 'ਚ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਬਿਲੀਵ ਦਿਸ ਪਾਰਟ ਆਫ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਇਜ਼ ਵੈਰੀ ਯੂਜ਼ਫੁਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਬੇਬਲੀ ਫੈਸਲ ਡਜ਼ਨਟ ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਸੇ ਫਿਊ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਮਗਰ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਇਹ ਕਹਾਂਗੀ ਕਿ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਖਿਦਮਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਦਾਮੇ ਦਰਮੇ ਸੁਖਨੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਜ਼ੁਬਾਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਿਰਦਾਰ ਪਲੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ Living in Canada mean we have different communities. There are Hindus, Sikhs, Christians, all communities are there. और बच्चे सारे आंदे ने बाज़ औक़ात अगर चिल्ड्रन एड सोसाइटी बच्चे ले जाती है ठीक मगर ये नहीं कि वो बच्चे लैके जाने तो बाद किस तरह हुंदा है की हुंदा है ये बारे च मैं थोड़ा जिहा फैसल नूं सवाल करना चाहनी हाँ now once God forbid if this is ultimate situation and you take the children from the family. So do you ask parents where they want to see their children and what is the next step?
So in a situation, again, as I said, if a child is being removed from the home, we always ask the families, is there other family? Is there an aunt and uncle? Is there a grandmother? Is there a grandfather? Is there a cousin, a priest, an imam, anybody in the community that's available to take this child? If there is, then we would look at placing that child with them. If there isn't, then we would ask that parents what things would they like their child to continue. So we want to understand again what the culture is, what the religion is, because we even know in Islam in itself is that me being a Muslim myself, it's different than maybe some of my colleagues. And so we always ask the family and we try to learn from the family, how should we treat their children?
Where you want your children be kept?
Yes.
Or
just treat them in our care. And then what we do is in those situations, we look at foster homes. So foster homes are normal people in the community that want to be able to give back to their community and be able to take care of children and raise them as like an aunt and uncle would. And raise them to support them. So it's called foster caregiver. And so they're not replacing the parents, they're just providing support and they're just caring for that child in the meantime, just until those parents can either get the children back or other situations can be found out for that child.
यानी पेरेंट्स दे कोलों राय जरूर ली जाती है पहले अगर कोई फैमिली फ्रेंड्स दे विच अगर कोई हैगा तो उहदे बारे च पुछया जाता है मगर एक गल याद रखिया जी कि चिल्ड्रन एड सोसाइटी जदों भी तुहाडा साडा बच्चा किसी दे सुपुर्द करदी है तो डू नॉट गिव चाइल्ड जस्ट लाइक दैट ਉਹਦਾ ਬਾਕਾਇਦਾ ਬੈਕਗਰਾਉਂਡ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਰਹੇ ਪੈਸਾ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ਼ਲੀ ਉਹ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਸਟੇਬਲ ਹੈ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਖਾਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਅੱਛਾ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਉਸ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਵੱਲ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਔਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਭੈਣ ਭਰਾ ਦੇਖ ਵੀ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਬੱਚਾ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਸਿੱਖ ਬੱਚਾ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਬੱਚਾ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਦੇ ਆਰ ਆਲਵੇਜ਼ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਫੈਸਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਫੋਸਟਰ ਪੇਰੈਂਟ ਰਿਕਰੂਟਰ ਨੇ they are always, Children Aid Society is always looking forward for those parents who can, who are financially well settled or financially settled, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਉਹ ਘਰ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਟਰਮਸ ਐਂਡ ਕੰਡੀਸ਼ਨਸ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੂਰਾ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਫੋਸਟਰ ਪੇਰੈਂਟ ਐਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ is Parich? Yes, Faisal. If any of our viewer at the moment would like to apply or put their name as a foster parent, so I think Faisal is not going to tell what is in it. Let me tell you one thing. मेरा और आपके बच्चे भी हैं. बाज़ औक़ात अगर साड़ी income resources होनी, get child tax and all these things. Government, these are their kids. They look after these kids very well. तो अगर सानू fostering वास्ते भी बच्चा मिलता है, ते ਉਹਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਖਰਾਜਾਤ ਨੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਰੀਇੰਬਰਸ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਠੀਕ ਦੈਟਸ ਅ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੀਜਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰੋ ਫੈਸਲ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫੋਸਟਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਯੂ ਕੈਨ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਾਈਡ ਯੂਰ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ yes Faisal, would you please tell us what is the requirement to be a foster parent?
So there's a lot of different requirements, but I will talk about the initial requirements that we look for. One is that there's no police criminal check. And if there is a criminal situation that family's gone by, at least to be able to say that family can provide a safe and loving home for those children. So we always then have to discuss a case-by-case situation. Then we also look at what's called a child welfare check. And so a child welfare check means also that they haven't abused their own children or they haven't abused other children, and just to make sure that they're the safest that they can possibly be with our children. Then we look at as if they can drive. So they don't have to be able to drive, but as long as they have access to a car or somebody in the home can drive. Just because that there's medical checks, there's different things that might come up for this child, and that they need to be taken just like your own regular children would be. The other thing is that they need to have a stable environment at home, so they have to be over the age of 25. There isn't an age as a cap, but as long as they're over the age of 25, and that they understand what is required of them to care for these children as their own. So sometimes, there's children as young as 3, 4, 5, or even babies. So they have to have the energy to be able to take care of those children as well. We also look at to make sure that the children in these homes are being treated equally, as if they have their own children being treated the same. So really a loving, caring, and stable environment. And also, again, as you said, financially stable, because we do provide a reimbursement at the end of the month, but it's not a job. It's being able to give back to your community, being able to do something good. And as you said, for the Sikh community, Hindu community, and Muslim community, in our religion, it's the core values is to give back, is to care, is to provide that to your community. And so it's to be able to give back the best possible way.
ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਪ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਰੋ ਕਿ ਬਾਜ਼ੋ ਕਾਤ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਡੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਯੂ ਕੈਨ ਗਿਵ ਬੈਕ ਟੂ ਦ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਯੂ ਕੈਨ ਮੀਟ ਫੈਸਲ ਔਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਹੈ ਮਨਦੀਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਫੈਸਲ ਦਾ ਨੰਬਰ ਵੀ ਸਕਰੀਨ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪਾਤਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਟਾਕ ਟੂ ਹਿਮ ਕਾਲ ਹਿਮ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ and put your name as a foster parent. Very simple कि तहड़ा criminal record नहीं होना चाहिए ज़ाहिर है financially ये ना होए क्योंकि इन्होंने पैसे जिन्ने हैगे ने उतना reimburse करने होंदे ने and it's a good work. I know many people and I know especially one family in Pickering they are doing it well and she said कि मैं I cannot even live without these children. मेरे पास बच्चे आते हैं कुछ दिनों के लिए आते हैं आके रहते हैं और चले जाते हैं तो if you can put forward your name you must meet Faisal और मनदीप जी ने जिस तरह स्क्रीन ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਫੈਸਲ ਦਾ ਨੰਬਰ ਵੀ ਪਾਇਆ ਹੈ ਰਾਬਤਾ ਕਰੋ ਕ੍ਰਿਮੀਨਲ ਰੈਕੋਰਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ਼ਲੀ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਖਾਓ ਹੀ ਖਾਓ ਅਗਰ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਾਕੀ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਟਰੀਟ ਕਰੋ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਟਰਾਈਂਗ ਟੂ ਗਿਵ ਬੈਕ ਟੂ ਦ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਇਸ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਕੁਅਲੀ ਟਰੀਟ ਕਰਿਆ ਜਾਏ ਗੱਡੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਆਪ ਨਾ ਚਲਾਓ ਪਰ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਡੀ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੋਵੇ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦਾ ਚਲਾਉਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੋਏ ਜਾਂ ताकि खुदा न खास्ता अगर बच्चे को कोई तकलीफ हो जाए तो उन्होंने डॉक्टर के कोल लैके जा सको हॉस्पिटल लैके जा सको नाउ दिस इज़ द बेसिक क्राइटेरिया जिथे तुसी एज ए फॉस्टर पेरेंट अप्लाई कर सकते हो नाउ फैसल माई क्वेश्चन हियर इज़ एंड आई नो माजिद जमाल इज ऑल्सो ही हैज़ वन क्वेश्चन दिस मीन the fostering can be done only by husband and wife or single mother or single father can also do the fostering?
That's a really good question. So it doesn't have to be husband and wife. It could be single mother, single father, or single widowed parent as well. And what that also means is that as long as they have a family member. So if they get sick, who's going to take care of this child? Right? If they have to go to the doctor or if they're going for an emergency, who's going to take care of this child? So as long as they have a support person, it could be their own parents, it could be an aunt, an uncle, a neighbor, a friend, anybody they think that can watch the children while they're away, or that they're dealing with an emergency as a support person, that's perfect, that's not a problem. We can work out situations, and again, as I said, it's case-by-case situations, and if you have something that you feel might hinder or might cause you not to be a foster parent, you can always call and talk to me, and we can sort of work out those issues together.
This is a very good service to the community, and of course it will not cost you anything. It's giving back to the community. You can definitely love a child, love a child जिन्हों बाज़ोकत अपने कर और बाज़ोकत अपनी साड़ी अपनी कम्युनिटी के बच्चे मिसाल के तौर पे अगर कोई मुस्लिम है तो उदा बच्चा मेरे को अगर आ जाए तो it will be good to serve my community. अगर कोई सिख दा बच्चा है, you deal with many Sikh foster parents.
We only, unfortunately, we don't have that many Sikh foster parents.
So you must say strongly to the people, this is a message what you must say in very strong words.
No, we definitely need Sikh families as well. It's very important from the Sikh community because we, as Peel region, in Peel region alone, our South Asian population is growing, and so with that, the numbers fluctuate in our agency, and so that we, at any given time, can have any number of children in our care. But what we want to do is when a Sikh child comes in, we want to know that there's a home available for that child that can provide that cultural and religious needs, and they're able to provide us small things as just food, right? Just their food, their religion, being able to show that child when he comes into a home that he doesn't know these people, that he still has something that can be kept, and that is the culture, the religion.
आज के प्रोग्राम का माजी जमाल आपका कोई सवाल है मैं आज के प्रोग्राम को का मकसद ही देना आप कर लें अगर आप क्विकली राणा जी का ही प्रोग्राम
we were talking about these are the extreme situations, but given the child to a foster parent. But before that situation arises, do have counseling?
So we always look at other options. From day one, when we're working with that family, and if we have to even consider that that child might be removed, not even just possibly, not for sure, but possibly, we first consider, is there family, is there any other people involved? Who can help? Because with the South Asian community and all of our communities is very big. We have a lot of aunts, uncles, grandparents, everybody that's there to provide support. And in India, we do it without asking. You know, our neighbors help out, community members help out. But because in Canada, we're so, we've immigrated here, our families might not be as big. You know, we have other focuses.
There are legal procedures as well.
We have other focuses in life in terms of money, trying to stabilize our own situation. We sort of forget the caring of our community. And so being able to provide that. Now, we provide resources to these families. So you asked again, do we provide counseling? Our workers, when they come out, they hear the family, they listen to them, they provide support. And so what it could be considered as is called informal counseling. But we do refer, we have a number of resources in the community that we provide these families, we match them based on cultural and ethnic needs and try and provide the best fit resource for this family so that they're able to achieve the help. So families call us for a number of reasons. They can call us for things like, you know, I'm running out, I don't have money this month, and I need a food bank to access. So they can call us. Or my child's acting out, I don't know how to deal with them. They call us and we come out and provide some support.
So फैसल का नंबर आपकी स्क्रीन के ऊपर आ रहा है इस नंबर ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਨੋਟ ਕਰੋ. This is the best way to give back to our community. We are definitely proud to have our own culture, our own religion. And I know many of my Sikh brothers and sisters you are listening and आप लोग तो बहुत giving लोग हो. I request put your name forward as a foster parent. Contact Faisal. अपनी community ਨੂੰ help ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਬਿਹਤਰੀਨ ਜ਼ਰੀਆ ਹੋਏਗਾ. Faisal, I thank you very kindly. Thank you very much that you made yourself available, and I hope we will give back to community in one way or the other.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. And once again, as I said, all of our religions, all of our cultures teach us to love children and to love our community. And so this is our bear. It's what we do every day with our own nieces and nephews. So being able to give back to the community in this way is more rewarding and more supportive than you can ever imagine.
Thank you, Majid Jamal sahab. आपका भी बहुत शुक्रिया.
We, Faisal may not be here next week. Arfa Ji and I is going to be back again next Friday, 7 o'clock. We'll see you in Mulakat.
With another मुलाकात. सत श्री अकाल. जीते रहें आप, खुश रहें, आबाद रहें, हंसते रहें, मुस्कुराते रहें. फैसल को कॉल ज़रूर कीजिएगा.